I accidentally blocked my website from Google for months. And now I'm trying to get that traffic back. And in the process of doing so, I did a lot of research. And it turns out if you think the way to grow your podcast is through social media, I've got better ideas.
The School of Podcasting with Dave Jackson.
Hey, I'm Dave Jackson from theschoolofpodcasting.com, where I help people plan, launch, and grow their podcast. And yeah, I installed a plugin, and I didn't know it at the time, but it somehow blocked my website from being crawled, and my traffic went, and I wasn't even checking it, which is a problem. And so what I want to show in this video is the power of having a newsletter for your podcast. Because yes, I get traffic now from Google. It's coming back up. That's good. But when I look at my posts on social, whether that's Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever, I'm tracking now using these things called UTMs, which basically just lets me see the source of where this is coming from, because I want to do more of what's working and what's not. Now, Google Analytics is a phenomenal package. It will tell you what your visitor had for lunch last week if it was raining. I mean, it's insane the amount of detail. The problem is I don't need to know that. I need to know what did they look at and where did they come from, because I know what I want them to look at and I want to see where they came from. Because if I'm spending a whole bunch of time on a certain platform, I'll give you an example. I'm also doing a survey of my audience, and I asked them what social platforms were their favorites, or where did they basically hang out. And my top answer was LinkedIn. And you know where I spend the least amount of time? LinkedIn. So that's going to change. This is why it's so important to know your audience. And so nothing against Google Analytics. I know there are other people like, I'm not giving Google any more of my data. Well, I've got another source for you I use called Fathom. And what I love about Fathom, and there will be a link under this video that is an affiliate link, by the way, just to, full disclosure. But what I love about it is it's very simple to see where my traffic is coming from. So I'm going to throw some charts here of my traffic last year, and you'll see where it's Google. And I did get some traffic from Facebook, but most of that is I answer questions in Facebook groups and on Reddit. So you'll see them listed, but even with those, which I do like on a daily basis, I got more traffic via newsletters. So let's take a peek. All right, so here is my information from 2024, and you can see here there are a couple things. Podclick.me is a link tracker I use, as is supportthisshow.com. And you can see Facebook is here and Reddit is here. But if we come down here, because I've made these UTMs, and I'll show you how to make one in just a second, you can see, number one, advertising in a newsletter that is about your industry. In my case, I advertised in Pod News. It brought in a decent amount of traffic to my website. But these other ones, SendFox and Substack, so it gets me somewhere around 80-ish, which again is more than Facebook, more than Reddit. And if I come over here to Medium, you'll see where email again is my top visitor here. So, and if I wanted to, I could come in here and say, hey, support this show. Let's filter by that. I can see again, I use those in emails to see what people are clicking on. If I go to source, I'm not sure what we're going to get here. Yeah, from Ask the Podcast Coach, but there is Substack and SendFox again. I also use Buzzsprout ads. So I can go in here and really filter, where I want. If I go back here to sources, organic, you can see what's going on there. And that again is Substack. So in a nutshell, I mean, we could go here forever and drill into things, but it just came up time and time again that for me, I got some links from show notes, and when I go into terms, you can see different things. I tried here a Reddit ad that did very poorly, but I can see the sources. And so how do I do this? Well, one of the things is in Fathom, and you can do this anywhere, but they have a tool. And what I'm using right now is text expander, and it allows me to type in things, and then I just type one little thing. So up here, I'll show you, if I go to build, you will see where I have a link to this address. So all I have to do is I made up my own little keyword here, and if I type in #build, it takes me right to this builder. And so the URL is, where do I want to send people? So maybe I want to send them to learn.schoolofpodcasting.com. Now, you can make these up. So sometimes I will put podcast here, and then the medium, I might put link. I might put chapters if I have links in the chapter, something to kind of let me know, where did this come from? Is it a link on an image? And the campaign might be the episode number. Now, you can make up your own little code and whatever tags you want to use. So I'll just say this was episode 972 because that was the one about this. And I will say this was video. And when I go down here, it's made a link for me. And so if I copy this to the clipboard and I go in here, and it still takes me to the page I want to, but now behind the scenes, I'll be able to see that this was a link that came in. In this case, I probably should have put for the source would have been YouTube. But again, you want to figure that out, be consistent. Now, pricing for Fathom is $15 a month. If you go yearly, it's less than that. You save almost 20%. And so for me, I know Google Analytics tracks everything. I love Fathom because it's simple, and I don't have time to, take a course on how to read my stats. So that's how I'm doing it. And then by making this link again, and I just made a text expander, anytime I make a link on anything, any social, in a newsletter, whatever it is, I put it in here. Yes, it's kind of, there are times when you're like, can't I just put the link? But the goal is to figure out, where is my traffic coming from so I can do more of that. If you want to check out the full episode, there's a lot of really interesting stats on how just newsletters outperform social on almost every single stat. Go over to schoolofpodcasting.com/972. And of course, you can sign up for my newsletter at schoolofpodcasting.com/newsletter.